Released by Vinegar Syndrome, Evil Judgment is one of those weird movies that never quite knows what it wants to be. Wants to be a kind of crime movie, wants to be a Giallo movie, wants to be a kind of slasher movie, and by jumping through all these different kind of subgenres, it doesn't really rely on one, doesn't settle on one, and becomes a little bit of a mismatch all the way through it. The story of this one is very interesting, I think, because it's kind of bonkers. We have Janet, a dancer who has a kind of toxic relationship with her boyfriend. There's a side story of a judge who's kind of clamped down on the mafia. She has a kind of turbulent life with her boyfriend. In fact, at one point they fall out because she's hanging about with someone that the boyfriend just doesn't like, often calling her a hooker.
You've been talking to that damn whore April, haven't you?
So what if I have?
And various other poor names, and says, you know, you're a hooker, you're a whore, you're going to end up just like her, and throws her out the apartment naked. And she's so mad and so upset with this guy, she decides to teach him a lesson by turning tricks with her friend, going to the judge's house that made this judgment on the mafia, going to have a little bit of fun, get some money.
You know, I have half a mind to start hooking. That would fix him.
She's kind of not really feeling it. She's struggling with the situation, can't go through with it, when suddenly the power goes out and someone kills her friend and the judge and leaves her for dead. And from then on, it's a case of her fighting against the system, the dodgy cops, and trying to say to everybody, look, these people were murdered, believe me, help me out, someone's after me, trying to kill me. It's one of those kind of movies, and for the most part it's somewhat fun. It never rises above average, which is a bit of a shame, and I think that jumping between various subgenres really kind of harms the movie rather than helping it. Now, it does have a wonderful prosthetic, as in throat cutting. They really like it in this film. In fact, almost everybody dies from that within it, and it really lingers on it, showing you these bloody shots of people having their throats slit, and it's incredibly fun. It's the story that feels so fragmented and just off kilter and never really settles. You know, you've got Janet, you've got her family, you've got her boyfriend, and nobody's really nice or interesting or somebody that you want to survive. Even the cops are just brutal. You know, within the first couple of minutes of the film, you have a kind of tramp just pissing in a bowl of soup.
Jesus Christ!
That just lets you know what you're going to get. This is the kind of bonkers attitude where they're just throwing everything into it, including the kitchen sink, and hoping that it's going to capture the imagination some way, shape or form, and it never quite does that. And it's got this poor budget. It's not the greatest. It kind of doesn't have enough to really emphasise everything that it wants. It's minimal in characters, and you know there's going to be a twist at some point, so you kind of figure out early on that somebody's behind this, and it's just a case of chalking off the people as they slowly dwindle down as somebody kills them all to figure out what happens. In the end, they give this big elaborate makeup of why everything was happening, and it's fine, but you don't really have the breadcrumbs to pick it up yourself, in which case it just feels like a wacky reveal at the end of this thing. Evil Judgment was fine, never quite landed for me. It was something that I enjoyed watching, but I'll probably move on. I didn't hate it, I just didn't find anything there that's going to draw me back to this one. It just was perfunctory, is probably the best way to say it. Of course, I would love to know your thoughts on Evil Judgment if you've seen it, so let me know in the comment box below whether you love it, hate it, fall somewhere in the middle. As always, there is more content up here. You can see more of my stuff. In the description box below are links to the Patreon membership program, manvfilm.com, always in which you can support me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.